My name is Mike Gilbert, and I taught at Ross for 38 years, and I started telling ghost stories in 1975. The reason I'm telling you that is because I'm walking down Burchard Avenue one day, and a lady comes out and says, "Hey, you're the ghost guy." And I said, "Well, I guess." "You tell ghost stories?" I said, "Yeah." "Did you ever look for ghosts?" And I said, "No, never looked for ghosts." "Well, what's on your mind?" And she said, "The past 2 weeks, my 5-year-old daughter has said a 5-year-old girl is talking to her, and she doesn't want to sleep in her room anymore." And I said, "Well, what did she say?" And she said that she fell off the porch and she mentioned her brother. And I said, "So what do you think?" And I said, "I think maybe the brother pushed her off the porch." And I said, "Have you talked to this little girl?" "No, I don't even see her. I'm certain that my daughter is seeing this." So here's what we did. I came to Spiegel Grove, and we got 5 people working. John Ransom was helping me, and Julie and Dan. And the people here are wonderful. I was looking up the background of the house that lived there. We found names. We started looking at names, obituaries. And I don't know who found it, but somebody says, "Hey, we got it. This is it." And what had happened, a 5-year-old girl in 1960 had accidentally crawled out on that porch and fell off. It was an accident. It's in the obituary. Exactly. The same age as this girl was talking about. So I went back to her and I said, "Look, I tell ghost stories. I don't know how to get rid of ghosts. And I don't know what to tell you, but this is the story. So whatever you do with that information, that's up to you." She was trying to get my opinion. I said, "Look, I don't know. It's just freaky that this is the same story your daughter told." So she ended up having her daughter tell her that we know it was an accident. We know your brother didn't push her off, and we hope you're going to be okay with it. And that ghost disappeared. And I have the obituary. She's buried in St. Joe's, her name, and all that stuff. It was just weird. Because they're done, usually isn't that bad. You find it like this. With that, we'll start with the story Drip, Drip, Drip. The young girl living in her apartment, and she has a dog. And the dog sleeps in her bed, and goes to bed at night, and the dog licks her face. So it's a soothing thing for her. So this night's a little different because the faucet's broken. First it's in the morning in the kitchen. She gets up and stumbles to the kitchen and fiddles around with it and stops. Puts her hand down, the dog licks her finger. All is good. So about 2 hours later, dripping again. This time it's from the bathroom. So she goes to the bathroom, fiddles around with the faucet there, stops. Stumbles back in, half asleep, walks in bed, dog licks her finger. She's not in bed more than 2 hours, and then dripping again, it's from the bathroom. Man, what's this one? So she gets up, stumbles in. It's not the faucet, it's the shower. Pulls the curtain back, fiddles around with the faucet, listens, goes back to bed. Dog licks her finger. When the morning comes around, she's exhausted. It's like she's up all night. Goes into the shower, pulls back the curtain, there's a dog hanging on the shower bed. On the bathroom mirror it says, "Humans can lick too." So if the dog is in that habit, you might want to change it. 2 girls living at a dorm, college. One girl's going to stay with a friend and had forgot her jacket, so comes back later at night around 1 in the morning. Doesn't want to disturb her roommate, so unlocks the door, walks in, doesn't turn any lights on, goes to the kitchen, pulls her jacket out, leaves, and goes back. Next morning she comes, opens the door. Her roommate's door is always shut. And she didn't know what her schedule was this morning, but it's slightly ajar. She thought was weird, so she's going to walk over to pull a shutter and decides that she should check in on her roommate. When she looks at her roommate, she sees that her roommate had been murdered, and on her bedroom mirror it said, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?" So I hope you don't have dreams about this. This is a sorority prank. A girl who's going to be initiated into a sorority, which is a bunch of girls get together in a service club and stuff like that. But she knows that there's going to be 3 girls in front and 3 girls in the back standing on her dress, because they go to this tombstone and they recite this poem that says, the last sentence is, "And hands shall hold you from the grave." So what the girls do is they stand on her dress when she tries to get up. It's like, whoa, it's freaky because it's dark, like it is now. And she knows who's involved. There's only 6 sorority sisters here. So when she gets there, she looks up front and she sees 6 sorority sisters, the ones that she knows are involved. Therefore, no one is stepping on her dress. That's her mind. But what she doesn't know is they got another girl, because they found out this kid knew, who staked her dress down while she's giving this talk. And, you know, there's lots of, your mind is elsewhere. She is not aware of this going on. So she's getting ready to stand up, and hand shall hold you from the grave. And if she stands up, she can't get up. She sees all 6 of them in front of her, and she really thinks she's being held by the grave. She has a heart attack and dies. This one I want you to go home and check. It's a fascinating story because it's true. Last night at Kenyon was the anniversary of Stuart Pearson's death. He died October 28, 1906. So what they do at Kenyon, it's a tradition, is they clear the top floor of this fraternity. It's got a circular window in it, the same fraternity where this incident took place. And you can see an image of a man. And you also hear footsteps back and forth across the floor upstairs, and doors opening and shutting, and chest drawers opening and shutting, because as the night goes on, the father becomes frantic. And the story is this: 16-year-old Stuart Pearson, P-I-E-R-S-O-N, is going to be initiated into his dad's fraternity. His dad knows exactly what's going to happen. They're going to take him to a track, they're going to tie him down, and then they're going to bring him back. Why they do that, I have no idea. But he knew what was happening. He knew his son would be back about 3 o'clock in the morning. When he's not back at 3 o'clock, his pacing back and forth gets worse and worse, and something's wrong. So he gets a call about 6 o'clock from the president of the university. He says, "You need to come here." Now, the dad is a big contributor to Kenyon. He's a wealthy, I want to say he had something to do with publishing in Cincinnati, but he had a lot of money. And they went down and he showed him his son. His son was tied to the tracks, decapitated, and his head was in a basket next to his body. Now the dad, unlike a lot of people, instead of sending him to a coroner, says, "I want you to take my boy's body back to your house, and then we're going to transport it from there to a train and back to Cincinnati." And he's buried at Spring Grove Cemetery, where 2 of President Hayes' young sons are buried. It's a huge cemetery. They want to keep it secret, because this is hazing at its worst. They never found what happened to this man. The story gets out. It makes international and national news. I have the copies of this. When I told the story at Spiegel Grove, a friend of mine who went to Kenyon brought in his 1949 yearbook, and it's the story of Stuart Pearson. And like I said, for the next 10 years, college enrollment is down. Kenyon suffers financially because of this is going on. And, you know, we have hazing instances now, but this is certainly much different than, you know, the drinking and stuff that goes on. They don't know what happened. Check it out, 16-year-old Stuart Pearson. The last story I would tell you is called The Varsity Jacket, and it involves a young man who is very shy, and he goes to one of his school dances, and he usually just sits in a corner and does nothing, but he sees this girl and he's attracted to her, and he's afraid to ask her, but he's like, "What the heck, I don't know her, she doesn't know me." So he goes and asks her to dance, and she said yes. So they dance, and they have a great time, and night is over, and he walks her home. It's chilly, so he gives her his varsity jacket. And when he gets home, the next morning he wakes up, and he says, "Well, I gotta get that jacket," and maybe she used to see her again, who knows. But he goes back to the house, knocks on the door, and he says, "Ma'am," he assumes it's her mother, I took your daughter, and I walked her home. She has my jacket, I don't know if I can get it out. The woman looks at him like angry. She says, "What are you talking about with my daughter? I was at the dance, I walked her home, she has my jacket. My daughter's been dead for 2 years. If you want your jacket, you need to go to the cemetery." And that's where his jacket is. I hope you have a great night. Enjoy it.